Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about if an operation were to come, why that is really bad for the CSGO market, especially in its current state, and why you as an investor are almost guaranteed to lose a decent amount of money because of it. Let's hop on into it. Now, with almost 50% of my viewers believing that an operation is coming, I really wanted to focus in on why this is not a good thing for the majority of investors, especially if you're invested into the active duty cases. Now, we're going to mainly be looking at riptide, the correlation that happened there, and then most likely inferring that it would happen again with a brand new operation, because that's really the only way we can do so. Now, these are the 5 active duty cases, but I think the majority of the people are interested in the clutch case. It's the most popular case, it's been in there the longest at this point, and you're probably invested into it, whether a large or small amount. Now, whether you're invested into the clutch case for the long game or the short game, what matters is if you're losing money, even if you don't sell, it's just not a good time to be an investor. And it's very obvious when riptide hit that it was not a good time to be a clutch case investor. Let's look at a couple things here. First up, this is the supply on the market. The great red line going up and down, that is when Operation Riptide hit, and you can see that the supply just absolutely exploded, or rather the listings on the market absolutely exploded and went up significantly higher than what it was at previously. And this is very important because one thing is for certain: people are not as interested in active duty cases when a brand new operation rolls around. There's much better things to spend their money on, and this can be backed up by a couple different things. First up, we gotta look at the August 2021 unboxing numbers, where we see about 2.5 million clutch cases were unboxed. We head over to September 2021, and we can see that number is down to under 1.5 million. Now, I don't know if these numbers are specifically to be trusted because September was not a good month for the Reddit unboxing numbers, but you can see no matter what, that a million case difference, there was definitely some sort of correlation there, and I would expect to be from Riptide. Heading back to those listings though, we talked about how the listings just absolutely exploded on the market, and when we look at a price point graph, you can see that the complete opposite happened, which is what we expect. Supply and demand, you can see here that the price dropped significantly lower, almost 50% from its point below Operation Riptide happening, and this was actually the cheapest time in the past 12 months to buy into the clutch case at 11 cents a piece during the middle or late October. Now, there's 2 big reasons for this happening. One, we already talked about, it's just a lower unboxing number, which translates to more people leaving them on the market or listing them on the market. And the second reason is people are selling off some of their investments, especially the more liquid ones, during this time, so they can buy operation related items. The pass is $15, but if you want to buy stars, you can buy an unlimited amount for around $50 a piece for 100 stars. Now, that's around $1 getting you 2 stars, but it's still a lot of interested people that want to go ahead and spend their money on this thing, even though it's just straight up gambling once again. The second way that you're going to get hurt as an investor if an operation rolls around is almost guaranteed to be Antwerp. Now, Antwerp itself is going to be a really complicated subject. With over 500,000 listings on the market for just the Legends capsule alone, there's definitely a lot to unpack, but we're not going to be focusing in specifically on Antwerp, but rather we're going to be heading over to RMR. Now, I get comments like these, and speaking of these, if there's ever something you want me to go over, I read pretty much every comment, and there's some ones, like the Danger Zone case, that I make videos on because I find them so intriguing. But talking about here, why RMR failed. Now, there's a couple ones that are listed here in the comments, one being overbought, 2 having that glitch, or rather that market manipulation where these people could buy them and instantly sell them. But one of the factors that cannot be denied is actually Operation Riptide. Now, let me explain. Now, there's no question that RMR was overinvested into for what it was worth, but when you look at a graph like this, with that red line being the 25-cent price point that these capsules were bought at, and the yellow line being the trend line for the Legends capsule for RMR, as you can see on screen, that dip, or where my cursor is the original start of Operation Riptide. Now, this is very important because you can see slightly that the graph was decreasing beforehand, but what happened was when Operation Riptide hit, people started selling off their items immediately because it's a liquid item. This is something I want to stress. Liquid items are the most volatile when it comes to an operation. This something RMR here we can see decrease so significantly, and this is the exact same thing that could happen with Antwerp. Antwerp is the most liquid item in CSGO right now. It's probably the most popular or easily accessible item out there in CSGO right now, maybe competing with RMR. Both of these items are the two most liquid items in the game, RMR at its time and Antwerp at this time, meaning that if an operation rolls around immediately, Antwerp will almost be guaranteed to crash because there's not going to be enough buyers that are looking to buy in at a 25-cent price point than there are sellers that are looking to sell at that 25-cent price point. People really hate losing out on investments, and they will trip over themselves and everyone else to make sure that they are not the loser, and this is almost guaranteed to happen with Antwerp if an operation rolls around. Now, to go along with the Antwerp loss potential and the active duty cases, almost every single thing goes down in price. Now, this is not necessarily as bad as the first two here. We've seen in the past that things like the breakout case drop in price and generally speaking keep a lower price point throughout the entire operation. You can see that it took over 4 months for breakout to get back to a price point that was similar than it was before the start of Operation Riptide. In my opinion, this isn't a bad thing. This is a completely normal thing, and this is a healthy thing, because if we're not providing ample buying opportunities for people to get in, it's not going to be a great thing moving forward. Going to see a lot of people who are just kind of overall doubting the CSGO market. If it only ever goes up, that's not necessarily a good thing for investor confidence. This is something normal. This is something that I like. Now, the last way you can get burned as an investor is if you're holding a lot of past operation skins, and I'm not talking about like Operation Wildfire or Hydra and before. I'm mainly talking about Riptide and Broken Fang skins. Both of these skins have really not paid off as an investment. Looking at the graphs here, you can see that there really has not been much movement for most of these, and most people holding them are probably holding them at a loss. This is very important because looking at this graph right here, you can see that it almost looks pretty hopeless. You've seen the price stagnant for almost a year, and honestly, selling at this point might be the better opportunity, or that's the psychology or the thought process of a lot of different people, and it was my thought process as well. This is the USPS target acquired. It's from the Control Collection, the one that holds the op fade. I sold off my target acquired just because this graph does not look pleasing at all, and I think that's the problem that a lot of investors are going to have moving forward. Why would I hold on to this item that's been stagnant for almost a year at this point in a collection you know is overinvested into? It's because of that I think not only the Riptide and the Broken Fang collections, but also talking about this potential new operation collections are probably all going to be in a hard path moving forward. All of these collections, relatively speaking, aren't doing a ton trade-ups wise because there's not any profitable trade-ups to come of this, and then you've got the fact that no one new is really buying into these collections because no one's using them in trade-ups, and it's just kind of really bad situation for investors. No one wants these skins at their current price point, and a lot of people have bought in for a price point higher than the current one. But as always, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.